Hello and welcome. My name is Laurel Pepworth, and today we're going to talk about social media for CEOs and executives. We need to cover around 4 or 5 areas because they're the key questions that a CEO or executive has. So number 1 is return on investment for marketing dollar, for social media spend, not just advertising, but all the other resources that are required to create content. With that, I would suggest that you throw in COI, cost of inaction. Show them what competitors are spending, what competitors are doing, and how they're snaffling up market share. Don't forget, a number of CEOs and executives confuse marketing with sales. So often ROI is supposed to be $1. Like if we do a competition on Instagram, then we'll make all this money. Whereas in reality, a competition on Instagram is going to be about positioning. It's going to be about brand awareness, brand education, all that kind of stuff. So definitely marketing, not sales. The next issue that will come up, and if it doesn't, it should, is regulation and compliance. Social media has a lot of regulations attached to it. You need to know them. For example, if you're running a competition, you need to know local, state, and federal laws. I think that's a given. Advertising falls under the advertising standards, and interestingly, just simply posting a free organic post falls under advertising standards. So get your regulations for your area, your country, your state, whatever down, so that if it does come up in the discussion with the executives, you know what's what. Along with regulation and compliance is risk assessment, risk management. I put all of these things in a crisis comms strategy document. The crisis comms should not only have different scenarios, like different responses. We ignore these, or we escalate these to legal, or we deal with these in the press, and there's a whole range of things that go into crisis comms. Definitely an escalation chart. The CEO needs to know that if Laura Tingle or Lee Sales or someone is asking questions on social about the company, then maybe they should know that this is being looked at or that thing's being looked at. So absolutely know when to escalate. There's some other things with crisis comms, but that'll do for now. Actually, there is one other thing, and that is staff and staff guidelines. So explaining to the CEO what the staff guidelines are. Now, lots of organizations have guidelines, but they're of the thou shalt not variety. And my recommendation would be that you figure out whether you just want to lock down social media or whether you want to turn staff into brand ambassadors. And at the moment, a lot of the work that I'm doing is with cultural shifts from the thou shalt nots to the thou shouts, but then the leadership isn't there from the CEO to make the staff feel comfortable being brand ambassadors on social. If senior management aren't pushing the company, why should they, It's probably a good time to just quickly talk about the role of the CEO and the executive within the organization as apropos you, the social media manager or marketing person. And that is that they are the communicator. So they're the captain of a ship, and the ship has lots of workers on it, but it stays in the harbour until the captain navigates, gives direction. So thought leadership and direction are critical roles of the communication skills of a CEO, and they're not all brilliant at communicating that. You can help them. You've got a comms degree, you've got a background in communication. Help them understand how to communicate with staff so the ship leaves the harbour, with peers, they're the people that they go and do conferences with and meetings with and golf and luncheons, and grab those business cards and use their LinkedIn account to connect to the people on their business cards so that they can continue thought leadership and all their brilliant thoughts, which you're probably going to help them write, and get them out there. I think the other area that they need to communicate with is their industry, to show thought leadership in the industry. And that could be around employer branding. So if you look at the moment at Atlassian versus Tesla and the world war that's going on between them around employer branding, and the executives of those companies are very involved. But they're fundamentally communicators. That both the Australian guys and the Elon Musk are communicators. Not every executive, not every CEO has that kind of passion and commitment to sticking their head up. In fact, quite a lot are not. So I'm just trying to think if there's anything else. You will come across what I call furphy questions. And it's things like, my niece is on TikTok, should we be on TikTok? And there's a temptation to dismiss those questions. And I would suggest that you don't, because the question, first of all, it might not even be true. This person, he or she, may not have a niece on TikTok, but they're aware of the fact that their tribe, their network of their peers are not on TikTok, but that their clients may be, their customers may be, their stakeholders, their constituents, whoever it is, may be on TikTok. And so they're asking for insight on how to assess that. For me, answers are usually quite general because it's not a specific question. So I may just say something like, Instagram is full of people being the best they can possibly be. It's all about health and fitness and showing their abs and pouting to the camera. TikTok is more the daggy dad or the daggy mum dancing around in the kitchen, having fun. So it's a different voice, a different kind of concept. There's EduTalk, which is different again, but that gives you some idea about how the voices are different. Just being able to say something like that makes them feel confident that you are assessing and not just saying, oh yeah, all my friends are on TikTok too, we should join TikTok, which sometimes happens as well. And if they do want to go on TikTok, then you need to bring up the whole strategy question and doing a social media strategy, as opposed to, oh, TikTok looks interesting, let's do that. Thank you for joining me today. I hope you found that interesting, and good luck with your CEOs and executives.